From Los Angeles, California, via the Inland Empire and San Diego, we have singer, songwriter, and rapper Aries Kae. We're going to bring her in and talk to her about her music career, her recent music that she's released, and her upcoming plans. Let's bring her in.
Hey, how you
I'm
doing?
so good, Aries Kae. What an honor to have you on the Cristopolis show. What an amazing voice you have. Oh
Thank
my.
you so much. The honor is mine. I'm so grateful to be on, and I love your show. Thank you so much for reaching out to me. I love the raw, deep conversations that you have with artists and just your, genuine spirit and so I'm excited for to be on.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Your voice is amazing. Not only is
Thank
it
you.
beautiful,
Thank you.
but it's powerful.
Thank you.
Talk to us about the voice. Like at what point did you know, or did people tell you that it's different, right? That it's special.
Thank you. Well, when I've always loved to sing. I come from a musical family, not like professional musicians, but musical. So my cousin is an amazing singer and she used to sing all the time and she inspired me. And then I started singing and I had actually a friend of mine when I was a kid. I was singing to her like some Destiny's Child Christmas song or something. And she was like, "You're so good. You are going to be like a singer one day." And for some reason that really stuck with me. And then I was like, no one ever said that before. And I started kind of doing it more. And then when I was in high school, I did a singing competition in San Diego that was for like the whole county. And there was a lot of people who did it that were really like, just in the scene, like making music or doing musical theater, just doing a lot, right? And I was kind of like totally brand new. And I was like, well, let me just join it and see what happens. And I won the whole thing. And so then after
Wow.
that, it was like, oh, maybe I'm kind of good at this. Let me try to actually like do something about it.
Right after that, you moved to LA.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Actually, it was, well, after that, I did American Idol. And
Yeah, because you were
mhm,
like in Hollywood Week on American Idol, right?
yep, yep. So I got to on the show Hollywood Week. So they split you into groups. This was a long time ago. They split you into groups, and then my group got sent home. But it was cool. I mean, there's a lot of auditions that you have to go through to even get on the show. Once I got on, I got to it was J Lo, Steven Tyler, and Randy Jackson who were the judges. So I got to sing for them, be on TV a number of times. Like my family, my boyfriend at the time was on TV, so that was very cool.
He loved it. He was like, "Yeah, that's my
Oh
girl."
yeah, it was fun. He was pretty tall, and I feel like he was so excited when I won. He like low key picked up Ryan Seacrest.
Right, because
It was
Ryan
pretty funny.
Seacrest, like I've seen him. He's not very tall.
Yeah, yeah, he's a little dude, so it was
Right.
kind of funny.
Yeah, and I've been at the American Idol like tryouts before. I've been in that whole like I wasn't doing it, but I've been in that environment and I've been
Yeah,
there. And it's insanity, the amount of people and everybody kind of singing and getting the nerves out.
yeah,
Talk to us about that American Idol process because it's a big deal to be selected, to be on TV, to win all those different things that you experience.
yeah, yeah. No, it's crazy. So back then, and it's different now because they do a lot of virtual auditions, but back then the audition process was in person and you would go. I went in San Francisco and it was at like, what is it, like AT&T Park or something out there. So I slept outside the whole night, the coldest I've ever been. And I live on the East Coast, but never been as cold as I was July in San Francisco because it's a wet, cold, and you're just not prepared for it. And I slept outside like from the night before. So people would camp and you're in this long line. And then you have to audition the next day. So you're like feeling sick, not looking your best, and you just have to put it together and then like go, right? So did all that and then got through. Once you get on the show, um, there's producers who are obviously trying to spice things up a little bit. So we did have some things like that where, I remember a producer came up to me and was like, "Oh, did you hear what she said about you?" And I was like, I don't care. And
Right?
I
They
think
want to create the TV drama.
they want to be drama. And I probably should have been like, oh no, like I wasn't really exciting enough for the show. I was like, oh, well, bless her heart. It wasn't
Right?
really
You
what
are
they were looking for.
authentically being you and
Yeah.
positive and right.
Yeah. But it was, I'm thinking, I wonder if I signed something that says I wasn't supposed to talk about it, but this was a long time ago. Probably has the thing has passed. It's different now. But I will say I had to do a lot of psychological testing and extensive background checks to be on that show. So like, anybody who meets me, I can say I've taken 1,000 question psychological tests and I was
Wow.
found worthy to be on American Idol, whatever that means.
I passed the American Idol
Psychological
right
test. Yes.
criteria.
Yep.
That's so good.
Yep.
And so that was an amazing experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
But as we go through your career, you start recording.
Hmm.
And at least online, if people were to go to your discography, look up Aries Kae and find you like on Spotify, Apple Music, what shows up first is monsoon season.
Hmm.
Is there earlier work, or is that when you first started getting in the studio?
Yeah. So I have actually some stuff that I released on SoundCloud before that, which I've always wanted to re-release. And I would need to like work with my producer to kind of rework the beats because they were beats that I got off like YouTube,
Yeah.
That's why I released it on SoundCloud. But if you go to my SoundCloud, you can listen to them. It's two songs that are both originals. One's called Bitter and one is called Gravity. I used to perform those a lot. I still like to perform Gravity because it's a fun song to perform. And then before all of that, I had some songs. Before I was known as Aries Kae, I went by the name of April Kae, and I released a couple of singles as April Kae. I actually worked with a really amazing producer out of New York who was an engineer on some of our favorite hip hop projects, like The Score and Ready to Die, and like all these amazing albums. His name is Basie Bob Brockman, amazing guy. I've worked on other stuff since then with him, and that's where I recorded at Capitol Studios. So
Oh,
going back, there's more stuff out there.
got it. So that was a career before Aries K.
Yes. Hmm.
Got it. And with heavyweight engineers,
Yeah.
tell us about that recording because I read about that also
Yeah.
in Capitol Studios. What was
It was
that like?
amazing. So my bonus mom, spiritual mom. Her name is Paulette McWilliams. She is a amazing artist. If you haven't heard her, check her out. She's an amazing, I want to say jazz artist, which she is, but she's more than that. She does a lot, and she's an amazing vocalist. And she sang backgrounds and toured with Luther Vandross and
Wow.
sang backgrounds for Michael Jackson and like the "Don't Stop Till You Get Enough." Like that's her. Okay, so she's
Wow.
and I had the pleasure of meeting her at the Musicians Institute, and we just really connected. And she's like, I talked to her today. She's like an amazing, friend and bonus mom. But she put me together. She really wanted to help break me as an
Yeah.
artist, and so she put me together with Basie Bob, who she knew from recording, when she was on the East Coast. And then I had, shown him some of my originals, and he was like, I like these, but let's get you some writers, let's get your voice out there, and then we
Yeah.
can work on that stuff too. And so I ended up recording with him in Capitol Studios, and it was like a surreal experience. It was amazing. Like, I mean, to be able to stand in the place where like, Frank Sinatra recorded, and like, it was huge. It was really big, and I got to like go up into the artist's green room and everything, and it was a very cool experience. And I didn't have the know-how to really like market myself at that time, and it was hard because it was right when we were moving into the digital streaming era, so
Yeah.
things were changing so much in the music industry. But I'm always going to cherish that experience for sure.
Yeah. That's an amazing
Yeah.
experience, and things have changed in the music industry, and I think that they're still changing, and people are really figuring out how to navigate the streaming
Yeah.
networks and how to monetize
Yeah.
merchandise, and everything. The CD and vinyl went away, but now it's like back
Yeah.
because, it's like
It's
collector's items.
always something. Like that's what I is so I find challenging because I'm not the type of person to really my artist creative mind is more so like what's it, I don't know, like I'm always in my head, right? So I'm
Yeah,
not the person to be like up on the latest trends. In music, you have to have somebody on your team who's up on that stuff, because every day, like you said, it's a new thing every single day. And if you're like doing last week's thing, you're already behind.
that's right. That's right. That's amazing. The your discography has a lot of music, a lot of collaborations. You recently worked with Noa James, who
Hmm.
just came off tour.
Yeah.
You're on his new project. Talk to
Hmm.
us about that experience.
Love Noah. He's like a big brother, just wonderful. Noah and Lisa are like family to me. I love working with them. I've gotten to collaborate with him now on a few things. I was on his King Orca project. I sang in the intro. So there's
Which
this
is
like,
so dope. That's such a
yeah,
dope intro. Yeah,
thank
and you're
you.
that's like so your voice is amazing on that. What
Thank
a
you.
way to open. Salute
Yeah.
to him for having the vision to
Yes.
to bring you in and create that opening.
It was so dope. He sent me this like his idea for it, which was like this kind of Nordic harmonies. It was, and then my producer Dom V and I were like got together and created this amazing. It sounds like a choir, but it's just me with different textures in my voice and everything. And then we did Mirrors in the Clouds. Now we're working on the next one. So I absolutely love working with Noah. He is an inspiration to me as an artist and a person. I mean, he's very like. He's so vulnerable with his personal story, and he's what I love about his music is that he shares wisdom in a way that is so it almost feels like a sermon, honestly. Like listening to his music, I'm like I'm getting something spiritually out of
Yeah.
it, he's on like my spiritual wellness playlists and stuff, so it's an honor to be able to be a part of these projects with him and get to
Yeah.
share my voice in that way too.
Yeah, he has such incredible energy and it comes through
Yeah.
his music.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And I'm sure he feels that about you. That's why he has you like on the intro, right? Like he
Yeah.
sets the tone.
Yeah, no, I really do. To me, I think as artists, we're creating a platform, right? I mean, there's lots of artists do their art in different ways. But as somebody who's, an MC, as somebody who is, putting yourself out there, right? Um, we kind of are creating this platform. And so then we can use that to help people or give knowledge. And we're very lucky as artists to have the time in our lives to think about things in a deeper level. Most people, you're working your 9 to 5, you don't have time necessarily to be thinking about these deeper spiritual things or, social issues and how to kind of address them. And so I think that that is something that we're really privileged to be able to do as artists. And I take that responsibility really seriously. So I always try to share my knowledge, wisdom, experiences, and help people through that platform
Yeah.
myself as well. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's beautiful. I think that a lot of people experience similar things, but they don't know how to communicate it.
Hmm.
And an artist to have that, that's one of their gifts, right?
Yes.
One of their gifts is to be able to communicate things that maybe all of us feel, but they don't know how to speak it or sing it or write it, right? So
Absolutely.
that's
No,
that's
that's so true.
yeah,
You're right. It's
yeah.
funny too, because I don't know, have you ever done the life path number where
Yeah,
you
yeah. The like Enneagram or
think so?
there's a couple of them.
Yes,
There's a life path where they add up your numbers and your
that
birthday.
one. Yeah,
That one,
that
yeah.
one. Uh-huh. So my life path number is 3, which is the creative communicator. And so when I looked into that a little bit, it really was confirmation for me that I'm on the right path being an artist, because that's what it is, right? It's like you said, it's communication. It's just a way of communicating
Yeah.
um creatively.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Another recent song and collaboration that you did was with the artist Destruct. That's
Mhm.
a amazing
Yeah.
artist, very skilled MC,
Hmm.
and creative all
Yeah.
around, right? Videographer,
Yep. Hmm.
engineer,
Yeah.
um, incredible work ethic, also, right? It's always like
Absolutely.
another. It's like
Yes.
Khaled,
Oh my
right? Like
gosh.
another one,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, the DJ Khaled. No,
Right.
honestly, like he not only is he, and then he puts on shows and he has his production company and but he's also the nicest guy.
Yeah.
He is so nice. He's so grounded in like having him there. I did one of his shows and I had actually just had a kind of not so good experience doing a show in LA. And I was like, it was, I mean, I do a lot of shows and I was like, all right, whatever. It just kind of like really rubbed me the wrong way. And I was like, this is just,
What,
not it. And then
in LA? What are you
it
talking
was in LA.
about? In LA?
It was
Everybody's so nice.
everybody's nice, right? Of course. It was just not the best experience, but I mean, Destruct show it was in LA. I think we were in like North Hollywood or something, but so professional, made me feel so comfortable, so safe, had parking there for me, which obviously we know
Yeah.
that's very important and greatly appreciated. And so it was so awesome to work with him. Anything I've worked with him on, I just feel like his positive, great energy. And yeah, the man, like his work ethic is next level.
Yeah. So you guys recently had a song
Hmm.
together called Escape Plan.
Yeah.
Not only are you singing on it, but you rhyme on it and,
Hmm.
and get it in.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that experience.
So yeah, I love that song. And I don't have a lot of music where I'm kind of going hard, right? And most of my stuff is like sunshine and, talking
Happy,
about spirituality and
happy place.
happy place. Yeah. So, but that is definitely a side of me. It's just not something that I've necessarily put forth in my music as much. And I think the reason is that of what I said before. I'm always trying to be very thoughtful about the energy that I'm putting
Yeah.
out. And at the same time, we all go through stuff. I went through a really abusive relationship and I had anger about it. And I wanted to share that I wanted to share that. I wanted to share that in the verse. And the song was all about, a toxic relationship that wasn't going well. And, had some dark themes and
Right.
stuff about it.
Dark
And
piano chords,
yes,
right?
love
The
the
piano chords
production
that
by
the
Max LP.
right. Mhm.
Amazing production. And so, it just kind of got me inspired. I wrote the hook and everything. I loved Destruct. I think we actually wrote in the studio together a little bit, but I kind of came ready because I didn't know what I was going to say. And then I kind of like took a nap before I went into the studio with him. And I woke up and I was like writing this verse. And I was like, that period of time when you're just waking up, it's like a very creative, like theta wave sort of time.
Yeah,
That
you're
was
like in
what
the
my heart
middle. You're like half awake, half right.
Yeah, that was what my heart wanted to say. And, the word play and everything, I was like, you know what? This is perfect. This encapsulates the anger that I had towards that person and that relationship. And
Yeah.
so it is what it is.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's awesome. And
Yeah.
and it turned into an incredible song.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I love it. I bump that one all the time. It's definitely like a classic. And the video,
Mhm.
absolutely love. It was amazing making that with him and just kind of, getting to really get into the vibe of the song. But it was such a, we just knocked it out. It was
Yeah.
it was pretty quick. So yeah, it was cool.
That's he's amazing the way he shoots videos too. I had the
Yeah.
experience of being around him for one,
Mhm.
and yeah, it's dope.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love the creative shots. And we didn't have a whole lot to work with. And I think we got there and there was like, I think we ended up having to actually like kind of break into that little area with the roses. We weren't supposed to be in there, but like there, we ended up we didn't have like, it wasn't exactly how we wanted it to look because the roses weren't really in bloom, but it was cool for the song because it's kind of about like dead
Yeah, it's
something
perfect.
dying, right?
Yeah.
So it kind of worked out perfectly. And yeah, he got some really creative shots in it. It was awesome.
Talking about video working, jumping around a little bit,
Yeah.
you have an amazing video for The Age of
Yeah.
I.
Yeah.
That's it's very conceptualized, right? Where
Mhm.
it kind of works you through kind of getting ready. Like first you've got the rollers and then you're all done up. Talk to us about the song, the video work, all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. So that song, The Age of I wrote the beginning of the pandemic. And it was really a song, talking about kind of coming into my own era and how that's kind of scary, especially if you're somebody who's like lived for other people a lot, just kind of, and that's something that I had done a lot in the past. And I was like always focused on somebody else. And I was like having the downtime during the pandemic and the isolation, it really caused me to have to like look at myself, and that's not always like the, the easiest thing to do. So I wrote that song, The Age of I, and then I came together with Victor Hernandez, shot the video, amazing videographer, just amazing guy all around. And we shot that video, and I had a whole team come out. My friend did the production for it, and it was so awesome. And the concept, I don't know why, but whenever I kind of was conceptualizing that video, I just really had this sort of like 1950s glam, sort of pin-up-y vibe in my mind. And I think for me, that's like, really embracing my feminine energy, which is something I was very cognizant of at that time. I was very much in my masculine energy. Life was rough. I was trying to survive, and I learned how to put up a lot of walls. And I was trying really consciously to tap into that feminine energy. And so that's also what that video portrays and connected me to. So yeah, it was a kind of a like interestingly healing experience to like go through and um, sort of embody that. And I really appreciate the opportunity to have done that video.
Yeah, it's a beautiful video. It's
Thank you.
visually really stunning. An incredible song. You do a great job, not only in the song but in the video.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You've got many singles and singles that have come together in EPs.
Hmm.
You have Taurus Moon,
Hmm.
right? And talk to us about your EPs, Taurus Moon, and maybe what you're planning on doing next.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So the first EP that I released as Aries Kae was Sunshine, and I released it as singles. So I would do a single, I think I did probably every 3 weeks or something like that. And then I kind of repackaged all of it into an EP and added like a couple bonus tracks. And I really liked doing it that way because I felt like it gave my body of work the time of day, no pun intended, that it deserved. It was like, yeah, I could just put this work out and then, maybe you'll listen to all the songs, maybe you won't. But each one of those songs to me was single material, and I wanted to release them that
Yeah.
way. So Sunshine was amazing. That project was awesome. There was production by JMKM and Dom V, and it was very like, it felt like sunshine, and the songs were very light. And Taurus Moon was this kind of almost sequel to that project. And I'm obviously into astrology because, my name is
Aries Kae,
Yeah,
Taurus
right.
Moon,
And I'm
other songs, right? Like phases
yes,
and right. It's
yes.
very. I've been
Yeah.
picking that up.
Yeah, very into that. I think I really believe that like astrology does inform who we are as people. And so I think that it's also a really dope way to connect with people that you wouldn't normally, because like everybody gets excited when you're like, oh, Aries gang, like I'm an Aries too, So I think it's really, I love that about it. But Taurus Moon, my moon sign is Taurus. So I was like, I really want to, and that also was about embodying that feminine energy. Aries is very masculine and go-getter and bold, and Taurus is like, I just want to like relax in a luxurious environment and eat something delicious and have like a candle next to me. And so I think that I wanted to show that, but it was also a little bit more of like the contemplative side of myself and what I had been experiencing at that time as well. So it was really cool to kind of have those back to
Yeah.
back. And then, yeah, my next project, I would like to continue to release songs that way. I really like doing singles and then putting them together in an EP. I just think it works really well. I think that, my supporters enjoy it as well, because it's kind of like we're going on a journey together. But I have some stuff ready to go. I have another single ready to go. I have a lot of stuff. But like the journey, I think for me has been how I want to put this out and how I want to kind of showcase this stuff that is really kind of deeply important to me. And a lot of the stuff too, I'm rapping a little bit more, kind of rhyming on it a little more, which is a side of myself that like not everybody knows me for. So I'm excited to kind of put that forth too.
Yeah, because you could rhyme. I mean,
Thank
on
you.
Escape Plan and on other songs that I've caught you rapping on them. I'm like, she could just rhyme if she wanted.
Thank you.
You just
you.
happen to sing really well, right? But if you wanted to
Thank
just be
you.
like, you know what, I'm gonna give you a whole album of these rhymes, you could do that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I think when I started, I've always been a hip hop head. I've always loved hip hop, and like, um, I don't know, it's just one of those things where like I said, I sang a lot, and so I was very much in that. I always saw myself as a singer, but there are times when you really want to have like a 16 to say what you want to say. It's kind of hard to distill it, into like just a
Right,
few
a
verses.
4 bar
Yeah,
or like 8 bar. No, you need the
yeah,
full 16 to like
yes.
really unpack it.
Yes, exactly, exactly. So I started doing that, and then I was like, oh, well, let me just kind of wrap it in the studio. And then I had some people along the way really encourage me, and I was like, okay, I guess I kind of, can do this. I mean, I think I learned, just from listening to a lot of amazing
Yeah.
rappers. Like I grew up on, you know, Outkast and Busta Rhymes and Tupac, obviously, like being from it, but also Biggie. I'm both East Coast, West Coast a little bit, so I had a lot of influences like Mos Def and all these. I mean, like I listened to Nas and everybody, and so I had that in my head. And I think I will say that over time, I think that I've learned and I'm still learning to cultivate um, my delivery as a rapper, because when you're a singer you're used to delivering something in a very musical way. But when you're rapping, yeah, you do need to think about how your musicality and your delivery. But there are times where you kind of have to put something on it that's a little bit more spoken, a little bit more conversational. And I think
Yeah.
that's a challenge that sometimes singers who rap have. So that's something that I'm working on in the studio.
Yeah, that's really interesting how you broke that down. Like what and I've been around a lot more rappers
Hmm.
and rappers that have nice voices, so then they kind of move into trying to sing a hook.
Yeah.
And they don't really understand notes and
Hmm.
hitting things
Yeah.
on the way you're supposed to when you
Right.
sing.
Right.
They just know how to sing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you could do that part. You're amazing at that part, but
Thank
bringing
you.
the
Hmm.
personality and the um not notes but vocal
Yeah.
cadence that's like unique to yourself into a
Hmm.
rap
Hmm.
is like a whole other thing
Yeah.
that rappers I think do more
Naturally, very well. Yes.
naturally, right? But they
Hmm.
don't they don't under, they don't understand it the other way, the
Yep.
notes. And you understand the notes, but you're trying
Hmm.
to bring that Aries K
Yeah.
when you're hanging with your girls
Yeah.
and right when you're hanging out and you're just being
Yeah.
yourself. How do you get that on tape?
Yeah, it's interesting. So, I mean, it's been an evolution, I think, for me. I'm grateful that a lot of the time I'm recording with people that I'm really good friends with. A lot of the time I'm recording with my producer, Dom V. He's the homie, like, absolutely love him. We joke around, like, we're having fun, we're laughing. So, like, it kind of flows easily from there for me to like go in and sort of, rap. But I think that like it really is a lot of just embodying that part of my personality that's a little bit more confident and bold. And, you know, I am, I grew up in California, but I do have roots on the East Coast. I lived out here. I think that part of me that's a little bit grittier uh, comes out. I've definitely had people make fun of me that like they can hear my like East Coast, like Boston accent when I'm rapping. So I
Is
think
is
that part
that
comes
is
out
that
a little
where
more.
is it from Boston? Is
Yeah,
that
so I'm actually in
oh
Boston right now. So
wow, it's cool.
yeah. So my family lives here and in Connecticut. My dad's from Yonkers, New York. So I have that. I do have that that part of my roots and everything. And I think that that definitely kind of shines through. And I love that because it shows a different side of me as well. So
Yeah, and it kind of shows, in your bios and in different places you've talked about growing up on Mary J.
yeah.
Blige and Faith Evans and having kind of that inspiration, and we could hear that in your singing.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you
Yeah,
so much. There was one time I shared something Faith Evans song and she actually like commented, she messaged me about it and it was like I almost died. It was like the best day of my life. I'm such a huge fan of hers. And I
you're
was
like,
like,
I'm good. Mic drop.
yeah, yep, this is it. Like that's bucket list accomplished.
The you mentioned, in your name, and we were talking about astrology, that you're an Aries. We're in Aries season right now, right? This is
Yes,
Aries season.
Aries season. I'm loving it. It's
That's
great.
awesome. The
Yeah,
is the birthday coming up
it
soon?
is. I'm the 15th, tax day. Not ideal, but it's okay. I learned
You're
to
out
love
here
it. I just
taxing
get
these rappers.
exactly. There
2025,
you go.
everybody's gonna have to pay.
Yes, yes, I love that. No, I mean, yeah, I get my taxes done early and just try to celebrate. So yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. I feel like at a certain point, your birthday, it's just like it's another birthday, But
Yeah,
I think it's always important to celebrate yourself and always important to take that time to reflect and love on yourself a little bit. So I love Aries season because I do feel it. I feel a boost when I'm coming out of Pisces season, which is for me is a little like challenging because it's just like a different energy. And then Aries season, I'm just like, okay, I have to get stuff done. Sometimes it's a little too much, like I gotta chill out.
yeah,
But I'm like, okay, let's just figure out my whole life today. Like I'm ready to go,
right,
So that's kind of where I've been
right.
at
We're not gonna
mentally.
finish this kind of like one more time around the sun without
Yes,
getting these things done,
yes, yes,
right?
exactly. Yep,
Hmm.
yep,
Yeah.
totally.
That's great. The
Yeah.
you mentioned, there's new music coming in
Mhm.
2025, and I know that, you wanna plan out the rollout, and there's things that you want to roll out when the time is right.
Yeah.
Is there a next single that you're ready to share? Is there any information regarding new music for your fans that you're ready to share with them?
I will say I have some kind of deep stuff that I want to talk about. And it's honestly, I haven't said this before. So here I am saying it now. I have some stuff that I want to talk about that, is more vulnerable. And I think that that's a little hard because once you say stuff like you said it, I don't know, you can't take it back.
Yeah.
Reflecting on your inner world in like a more vulnerable way. It's one thing to kind of get out there and be like, this is how, I think y'all should do things. It's another thing to be like, hey, this is what I'm struggling with right
Yeah.
now. And that's something that I think I really want to do more of in my music because, I'm inspired like by people like Noah who do that so elegantly.
Yeah.
And I think that that's something that I want to kind of tap into a little bit more. So these next songs are going to kind of share that part of me a little deeper. So it'll be a journey we can go on together because it'll be a challenge for me.
Yeah. That's amazing that you're doing that, opening yourself up like that. And I know that for artists it's difficult to do
Mhm.
that, but those are the songs that people love the most, that they relate to, right? And I know like artists that I
Totally.
love, it's their songs where they're talking about things you're not worried about the artist, you're relating to the song.
Yeah.
And you love them more as a person
Yes.
because of that relatability, but they
Yeah.
had to be super crazy vulnerable. They had
Yeah.
to tell you everything.
Yeah.
So it's hard as an
Yeah.
artist to do that.
Absolutely. No, you're right. You're right. It's so true. And like, yeah, I think that we hear it and we receive it and we love it. But in the moment when they were like in the studio and then it was about to drop, I'm sure that it was so
Yeah.
stressful for
Oh yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's talking about your upcoming plans for 2025. You also collaborate regularly with a lot of
Mhm.
artists, right? We talked about Noah James and Destruct. There's also Sleazy Easy and many
Mhm.
artists. Are there any additional collaborations or featurings that are coming up?
Yeah, so Noah and I have something amazing coming out. And he's been kind of dropping hints about it a little bit. So I know I can say that. Definitely keep an eye on what he has next because that'll be really special. And then I do have some things that I'm working on with some artists that aren't quite developed yet, but definitely kind of getting to work with some awesome producers and some amazing artists, and also kind of trying to tap into the local scene here in Boston, which is
Oh
amazing.
yeah.
I've been to some jam sessions, and oh my gosh, the talent out here is
Yeah.
unbelievable. So I mean, I'm really excited to kind of get to know. I'm a community builder. That's what I did, in the IE, in the scene in LA. I love putting myself out there, getting to know people, and then being a bridge and connecting people with each other.
Yeah.
And so I think that I'm just like excited to get my hands on, you know, a new group of people and get to know them and have them know me. So it'll be cool.
Yeah, Boston has such a great scene because it's kind of always battling with New York,
Yes.
right? So it's like we're not New York,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Right? We're not New York. As a matter of fact, we're better. Imagine,
Yeah.
there's like it's
Yeah.
big. It's like a
Hmm.
big Boston
Oh,
personality.
absolutely.
And there's so much I know from the hip hop perspective. I mean, that's where Static Selector's from,
Love that.
Terminology,
Hmm.
Rex.
Yep.
And their whole crew, and that's just one aspect of it. There's a lot of
Yeah.
talent in Boston. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
that's gonna be
Doppelgangers.
amazing.
Love it. Yeah, honestly, I think they're from New York actually, but they do some work with people out here. I love the attitude. It's definitely an adjustment, you know, because in LA we're kind of chill and we're
Right.
kind of like, you know, and that really is like at my heart. It's funny because being out there, I felt a little bit East Coast, right? Coming here, I was like, oh no, I'm very
Yeah.
California. Like I'm very LA. Like this is me. So I think that, you know, I'm out here and people they seem so like aggressive and I'm just like, just relax.
Because they're
Like it's not
cold. Because
serious.
they're cold. Everybody's angry because they're cold.
It's so
Boston's
cold.
colder than New York.
Whew. Oh, it is. Oh, it's way colder. Yeah, I did my first winter out here, and let me just and it was a rough one. And yeah, I was mad too. I was yelling at people. I was like, get out of my way. So I understand now. I understand.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I can't wait to hear all of the new music you're going to drop in
Thank
2025
you.
and, what it's going to be like working and, collaborating with the creatives out there. Because they're go-getters out there. So it's going to
Oh yeah,
be, yeah, it's going to be a lot of
yeah,
fun.
yeah.
As we start to wrap up, any shout outs, any gems that you want to drop? Because you drop gems online on your social
Thank
media
you.
all day. Like people could just listen to your social media and get enlightenment for real.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, I think that lately I've been really thinking about the the purification process that we want to go through as people, right? Like we want to just get more and more elevated and we want to become, you know, closer to our highest self, right? And I think that now is like a really good time for all of us to kind of take stock on a deeper level of some things that could be holding us back from achieving like uh that goal that we have, right? I think that one thing that can be sort of a stumbling block a lot of the time is the way that we approach relationships. And I think that sometimes we have gotten kind of totally twisted up in the way that we approach relationships and we're like very scattered with our energy. Like we have a lot of energy going here. We have like a bunch of, you know, different people that are kind of demanding our time, or maybe we are like not really sure, you know, where we stand with somebody, but we're not willing to have the conversation because we're afraid of if, you know, how they're going to manipulate us or whatever. I just think that it's like right now a really good time. I'm really excited, I guess I would say, for the revolution that's going to happen when it comes to relationships in our society, because to me, it's radical to love and to have conversations and to try to come together a little bit more. Very scary, but to me, it's like an act of resistance, especially with what's going on in our world and our country right now. Like it's an act of resistance um, to you know have empathy and to
Yeah.
love one another. So that's like the big thing that's on my mind right now, that I can share.
Yeah, and then you're reminded of every time you put on the news.
Yes. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's definitely a time for compassionate communication.
Oh yeah. And it's not easy to
No.
do. When it's not easy to do, especially when you're talking to somebody and you think, how can you feel this way? And you know, there's a time that, you know, we need to stand up and say that is wrong. But I think that it's also like just amongst each other in our personal relationships, our one-on-one relationships, you know, having a balance between boundaries, but also really trying to connect,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Thank you for the gem. Aries
Yeah.
K, is an honor building with you today, talking about
You as
your
well.
amazing career. And I can't wait to see, listen to and see everything you got coming in
Thank
2025.
you so much. This was a pleasure and so great to talk to you. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you so much. Build with you soon.
Okay, sounds good.
Bye bye.
Bye.